if not for anything, for the fact that the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has decided to put some smiles on the faces of many Nigerians, where he has announced a 25 to 35% salary increase for civil servants, and this is to take effect from January 1st, 2024, right? So that should put some smiles on your face. But it seems as though the NLC, the organized labor, is kicking. The organized labor is saying that no, President, well, that might be a good thing that you've done. You've done something good that feels good, yes, but then we want to know what the minimum wage is exactly, right? And that's going to be about what it is, the conversation today, right? I remember I told you that silence is golden, but popular only to a few, right? It means that a few persons understand the impact of silence, especially as we yet again have a May 1st Workers' Day marking. I don't know if to call it a celebration or a marking, but whatever the case, I mean, it is a day for you as a worker, as a civil servant who has served Nigeria, who is still serving Nigeria, who will be serving Nigeria. It's talking about the past, present, and future right there, to saying that, hey, your endeavors should not be overlooked, and that you indeed are the reason for the growth and development of our dear country, Nigeria, today, right? Watching outside the shores of Nigeria or watching via the social media platforms where we have an Eagles television going on social media. That's right, because we give you an audio-visual radio experience that you can count on anytime, any day. And we say this on strong authority because you gave us the bragging right. And of course, that will be the YouTube channel at Eagles FM Abuja. Do well to subscribe, as well as get onto the Facebook page wall at Eagles FM Abuja. Give us a like, give us a following, and you'd be glad you did. Right? It's going to be the bulk of the conversation today as we look at Nigerian workers' struggle for survival. I mean, it's a struggle for survival. It's a struggle for survival. We are still pushing it, right? And that's why when you hear somebody say hi to you, most of the time these days, I hear it now more frequently than not. I hear, we're pushing it. How are you doing today? Oh, we're pushing it. We're pushing it. So it's a push. It's a constant push, and that only means that you are alive, right? But even though silence is golden, please do not maintain the culture of silence, because the only time you need to now put out your voice would be the time when there is a threat to your life, there is a threat to your livelihood, there is a threat to your existence, there is a threat to your standard of living or to your living, there is a threat to everything that you hold in high esteem around you. When there is a threat, that's not the time to have silence as a golden rule. No, silence at that time becomes inconsequential, because at that time you need to use your voice, you need to talk about it, you need to yell if you have to. But in this regard, please, let's maintain some decorum even as we talk about these things, right? You could talk about things very on the affirmative. You can talk about things sternly without having to, disgruntle anybody whatsoever or defame anybody whatsoever, right? So let's just get right into it. I mean, yes, it's a lot to unbundle. So permit me to take my time, because I'm trying to think about where do I start from. But I mean, the beginning is always the first place to start from, right? Well then, the Nigeria Labour Congress, that's the NLC, has been at the forefront of fighting for the rights and interests of Nigerian workers. Since the announcement of fuel subsidy removal, the NLC has been demanding a reversal of the decision, an increase in minimum wage, and improvement in economic conditions. Well, after a series of protests and meetings with the government, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu announced a 25 to 35% salary increase for civil servants, which is effective from January 1, 2024. However, the NLC has fresh demands, and Nigerians are wondering if the president's response meets their expectations. And that's just what it is. That is what Nigerians are talking about. That's what you are talking about. That is what I'm talking about. That is what everybody, every well-meaning Nigerian, who believes in the entity called Nigeria, which I suppose should, are talking about. But then I'd like to take you on a tour on some labor demands. But before I do so, let me also announce into your eardrums the fact that I'll be having two guests on the show, and they'll be joining via phone call. I'm talking about none other person but Barrister Ahmed Tanimu Abubakar. He's a public affairs analyst, human rights activist, and lawyer based in Abuja, as well as on the second part of the discourse today, we'll be having, joining us via phone call as well, our guest, Mr. Adefolari Olamilekan. He's an economist, a lead researcher, and policy, analyst. And we'll be joining that conversation already. All right, so while we are connecting with Barrister Ahmed Tanimu right there, we are connected with him. Hello and good morning to you, Barrister.
Good morning. Happy Workers' Day.
That's right. Happy Workers' Day to you, as well as Happy New Month. It seems as though it's a double celebration or double marking for today.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well then, Barrister, I wouldn't want to take your time. I mean, you're one who has a busy schedule, but let's just jump right into it. It should be a happy cheer for Nigerian workers, especially knowing fully well that in the face of the rigorous conversation that has been trending between the organized labor as well as the government, whereby a committee has been set up, to look into the national minimum wage, and knowing fully well that the previous minimum wage had expired last month, if I'm not mistaken, on the 18th of April 2020.